back to Moving Right Along, a Kermity crunchy podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. It's the podcast where we watch A Muppet Family Christmas 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Anthony Strand.
And I'm your other host, Ryan Rowe.
And I'm your Christmassy not host, Joe Hennes.
All right, and today we are talking about minutes 29 and 30 of A Muppet Family Christmas. In these minutes, Big Bird sings a duet with the Swedish Chef, and Beauregard plans his work agenda for tomorrow.
I wish that we just get like 90 seconds straight of Beauregard be like, all right, here's what I got to do, you guys.
Just making a to-do list.
Yeah, like everyone stop singing for a second. I need to think. That's what I want to hear.
Wouldn't that be a delight?
Gotta head over to Home Depot, buy a new snowblower.
We'll get to Beauregard, but before that, as we teased yesterday, Big Bird and the Swedish Chef are singing the Christmas song, "Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire." Now, this song was written in 1945 by Robert Wells, I don't know who that is, and Mel Torme. Yeah, you know, from Night Court fame.
Oh, Blue Eyes.
We know who that is.
Mel Torme of Old Blue Eyes.
Wait a minute. He had a nickname, right?
The Velvet Fog.
That was it.
Mel Torme's nickname.
I knew he had
The
one
Velvet
of those.
Fog. That means nothing.
Yeah. It means nothing. Frank Sinatra wasn't even that old when they started calling him Old Blue Eyes, so there you go. But the most famous recording of this song, of course, is by Nat King Cole from 1947. Like, it's associated with him in the same way that White Christmas is associated with Bing Crosby, or Blue Christmas with Elvis, or Father Christmas with the Kinks.
All the Christmases.
I would have said that the Mel Torme recording was the most famous, but now that you say that, I feel like these days you do hear the Nat King Cole recording more often.
Yeah, that's the one I've always thought of.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But anyway, so this is the song that starts out "Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire," and Big Bird and the Swedish Chef sing it for about the first 50 seconds of the clip. So I don't think we have to go through the lyrics or anything, but just general thoughts about Big Bird and the Swedish Chef singing a duet. What do you got?
Well, I would just like to say that, so Big Bird sings the line, "Jack Frost nipping at your nose." And first of all, when I was in third grade, we did the song for our Christmas program, and my friend Daniel and I thought that it was hilarious to sing "Jack Frost biting off your head." Just wanted to get that in there.
You know, it would have been funny enough if you had said "biting off your nose" instead of "nipping at your nose."
Yeah, no, we went one step further. Jack
Interesting
Frost biting
choice
off
there.
your head. Right. And then also, totally not related to this special, except in a very tangential way, but there's a movie called Jack Frost.
There's two of them
in which,
called Jack Frost.
I believe, well, that's true. One of them is a horror movie, but
yes.
There's one in which Michael Keaton, I believe, plays like an absent father who dies and gets reincarnated as a living snowman who then spends more time with his son. And that living snowman is an animatronic built by the Jim Henson Creature Shop. And it looks really weird. I've never actually seen the movie, but it's a very strange looking puppet.
Yes, agreed. But what about when Big Bird and the Swedish Chef sing it? Any thoughts about that?
I wanna just thank Jerry Jewell publicly for creating an environment in which Big Bird, beloved children's TV character, and Swedish Chef, one of the most ridiculous TV characters to have ever existed, can sing an entire duet and have it be natural and like a good Christmas moment and still funny. It's a perfect moment.
That's what's so remarkable about it, I think, is that it's genuinely heartwarming and genuinely hilarious at the same time for two different reasons.
Right.
It's really, the sentiment is so adorable and heartfelt. The two characters really seem like they are bonding, but also the idea of the Swedish Chef singing heartfelt song lyrics is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Big Bird is a character who is generally always just very sincere. And the Swedish Chef is a character who really only exists to do silly things. I can't think of any other time when the Swedish Chef has been perceived in any kind of sympathetic way or any kind of serious way.
Yeah, I was gonna say sympathetic, yes, serious, no, because we've seen in the 2011 Muppets movie when they think they've lost the theater, he has like a like crying moment with the chickens for like half a second, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's funny. That's a joke.
Well, but he's also one of the portraits during the sad Kermit song in that movie.
That's true. Yeah.
And they show like the Swedish Chef being like wundish jiggy or whatever, and you're supposed to be like, oh yeah, I remember when Muppets were funny. Like you're. I mean, like that's like the intended reaction of that moment.
The song is about Kermit being serious and sincere and sad, but the appearance of the Swedish Chef, I would say, in that is mostly to get a laugh from the audience.
Well, right, but it's bittersweet because they're all dead, right? Like that's kind of
right.
You're thinking of Muppets Haunted Mansion, Anthony.
Kermit remembering all his dead friends.
Man, wait, is that how
he has a portrait of Miss Piggy on the wall that looks? It's just like the Rebecca.
Well, he has it covered with a shroud, right? That he pulls off. Yeah.
Covering up Peter Savieri's beautiful work. Tragic.
Yeah.
Great,
our buddy Peter
great painting.
made that portrait. It's gorgeous.
I also want to say about the song that we were talking about a second ago. Anthony, Ryan and I used to show this at our Muppet Vault, our live Muppet Vault shows every Christmas. We would show. Actually, I don't know if we did every Christmas, but most Christmas specials we would do Muppet Family Christmas in its entirety. And every time we would show this scene, the Swedish Chef singing his first line always got a huge laugh. Like it's like people forgot for a second that he doesn't speak English. So when he kind of comes in with like whatever he says,
or you might just think that Big Bird's gonna sing the song while the chef just kind of sits there and watches him.
It's always hysterical. Like in the same way that people always laugh at Miss Piggy being a beautiful woman kind of stuff, and you're like, oh right, like it's funny because she's a lady pig. Like we forget what the joke is because we're so used to these guys.
Yeah, and it's another one of those things where we as fans who think about the Swedish Chef every single day of our lives, we do take for granted that like, oh yeah, this is a comedy character.
Right, and it's funny that he speaks gibberish, that he speaks mock Swedish. Like,
yes.
I'm just so used to it. And then near the end of the song, where they're going back and forth like Merry Christmas, and the Swedish Chef sings, I didn't write down the the way he sings it, but like he goes like Lila Yule. It sounds like he's singing something about Yule, and that makes me think that like I wonder if Jim actually looked up to like how to say Merry Christmas in Swedish, which I guess is something that I could have Googled, which I'm going to look up right now.
I mean, I know how to say Merry Christmas in Norwegian, which is God Jul.
He's not the Norwegian chef,
right? But probably similar. I think they're similar languages.
All right, so it would be. It's not really the same. It's like God. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but God Yule or God Yule.
That's literally what I just said.
I'm sorry, I was typing while you were talking, so I was not listening to you.
So yeah, it's like God Yule.
Yeah, so I don't think that's really what he's saying, but I feel like did Jim kind of look up to see like let's make this kind of sound a little bit close to Swedish as opposed to just going bork bork
for
bork.
Once.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I
like that
idea.
Thought.
Yeah, it's interesting. The song ends. Big Bird says, exactly what are you going to fix for Christmas dinner? And that is when the Swedish Chef reveals what he is going to fix. Which I love that Big Bird says fix, by the way. Like, what a perfect Big Bird word choice.
Yeah, well, he also says cranberry instead of cranberry.
And because of that, I pronounce it cranberry because I find it amusing. It's
funny because so we should say, what he's going to make is, Swedish Chef says, Scröeper, Veet, and Crannen Buchers. And what Big Bird then says is, shredded wheat and cranberry sauce, my absolute favorite. There's no T. He doesn't say favorite. There's no T at the end. My absolute favorite.
Oh, it's a glottal stop.
Yeah, he went Cockney for a second.
Right, and I think about that all the time, and I love it so much. It's like he's so excited about getting shredded wheat and cranberry sauce.
So I have so many questions about the shredded wheat and cranberry sauce. Where to start? First of all,
which he just has like sitting in a pan already.
Right. So like, well, I have to assume he wasn't going to just serve Big Bird. He needed a side.
Yeah, it was going to be.
It was a side. Yes, I think that was the.
But it also seems like when Big Bird says like, "So what are you making?" He kind of like looks around for a second, like like he doesn't know.
Yeah, like
what are we gonna make?
He's vamping, like, I gotta find something here.
Like chair, lamp, So I don't know. I mean, I guess it's convenient that he had.
We're serving I Love Lamp.
He had the bowl right there. The other thing is like a part of me thinks like, how did Big Bird know what he was saying? Was he saying something else? Like
he held it up.
No, I know.
Showing
But
him.
like in mock Swedish, did that mean, well, we're gonna eat you, kid? And he's like, oh, shredded wheat cranberry sauce, my favorite. And he's like, fine, we'll do that instead.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, Scröeper Veet, like, come on, like, he's saying shredded wheat. It's not even that far off. Crannen Buchers? What else could that be, Joe? What else could Crannen Buchers
It could be giant canary.
Fair
you don't
enough.
know. You don't
be,
speak mock
could be.
Swedish. You don't know.
I don't. That's true. I'm not Gene Stapleton.
I don't even speak real Swedish.
I don't even speak real Norwegian.
I don't even speak Gene Stapleton.
My grandma does. I could ask my grandma.
Yes, please do.
All right. So, anyways, any other thoughts about Big Bird and the Chef?
No, please.
Before we move on. All right. So then we cut to Beauregard at the window, where he says, as I teased at the start, "There's going to be lots of snow for me to shovel tomorrow." Here's my question: is Beauregard just being a nice guy, helping Ma Bear out, or does he just think
No.
he's at work?
I think he knows his place. I think he knows his
Oh,
role
buddy.
within this group.
No. So here's my thing about Beauregard. Here is, they all showed up at Ma Bear's house, right? Unexpectedly, threw her for a loop. And I think he's just being a sweetheart. I think he's just helping out. Like, here's the thing. We got, like, talking about Doc. Doc's going out there to get firewood. Bo is going out to shovel the driveway. Like, you guys want to talk about positive masculinity for a minute? All right? We got Beauregard. We got Doc. They're just helping out however they can. They're fine role models for the young boys at home, right? Helping a widow out at Christmas.
See, now here's the thing.
Boys, be more like Beauregard.
I would agree with that if Kermit's response was, "Yeah, man, thanks for helping out, Bo." But instead, he's just like, "Yep, that's the
or
job."
if Kermit had been like, oh yeah, I'll if there's any extra shovels, I'll help you out with that.
Right.
Like it's there's no question. Like no, this is
But
Beauregard's job.
I'm of two minds. I do think that Beauregard's like, I'm here to work because, the Swedish Chef is there and he's cooking the meal for everybody. The band has set up the instruments. They're entertaining everybody. Like most of the, not everyone, but like most of the Muppets are like, we're here because this is our place. Like this is how we got the invitation to the farmhouse, was because we are also working.
Janice made cookies.
Janice made cookies. The other part of me is that like thinking that Beauregard, like it's not necessarily like it was expected that he was going to do it, but he doesn't really know how to connect with people. And he's just like, well, I mean, I'm here. Nobody's really talking to me. I guess my job is like, I could go shovel the walk. Is that what you guys want? Nobody's saying no. So I'm going to go shovel the walk. Goodbye.
Right. Sure,
Yeah, it's like when somebody volunteers to go take care of the kids because maybe they're a little bit like awkward around the adults.
You know what it is? It's after Thanksgiving dinner when my dad is like, all right, I'm going to go wash all the dishes for 25 minutes because he doesn't want to be around everybody. Like it's been too much social time for him. And he's like, I just need time to like focus on this one thing.
Yeah. Okay. Beauregard is an introvert.
Yeah, it seems like it.
I should also say that when I was a kid, this was like this moment, which is kind of all Beauregard does in this special.
Yeah.
Was kind of the only reason I knew who Beauregard was as a child, because, like I said, Great Muppet Caper was the one of the movies that we didn't have until I was in high school. I never really saw it. My Muppet Show viewing was fairly limited. He's not in any of the like stuff that was coming out in the 90s, really. So this is like, I didn't even know that guy's name. He's just like, oh, there's a guy who shovels snow. Okay,
He's the snow shoveling Muppet.
Yeah,
That's his thing. Hey, man, can you stop shoveling snow for a minute? We're putting on a show. And he's like, sorry, guys. It snowed, and I'm here to shovel it.
Gotta
It's snow
shovel
time.
the snow.
But Kermit does say then that it's getting worse and worse out there. And Bo says, aren't you glad you're all warm and toasty in here? And Kermit says, I just wish Miss Piggy were. Bo nods sympathetically, which I like.
As if he
I like
knows
that
who
Bo's just
Kermit
kinda
is
like,
talking about.
Well, but I mean, I think he maybe realizes that he just committed a faux pas. Like, oh, aren't you glad you're warm and toasty? Oh no, I forgot. Piggy's still out there.
I see. I like to think that he doesn't remember Piggy. It's like if Kermit had said, "Yeah, if only Dave was here," and he's like, "Oh yeah, Dave, sure, yeah, didn't think about that Dave guy."
I never knew you had such a low opinion of Beauregard.
He's just so
a sweetheart and a nice fella.
He is
like,
very
why-
sweetheart and nice, but like he's also very dumb, and that's where I'm coming from. Is
Yes,
Beauregard
that's
being
sort of his whole thing.
very dumb?
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. But like, I don't know, man. He's so helpful.
Yeah, he's a nice
guy. You know, he helps Emmet get the band together to win the contest. It's great.
Half of 50 cents.
Half of 50 cents.
Why did we go to that line, Ryan?
Also, there's going to be listeners who think that I am actually confusing Wendell Porcupine and Beauregard. I'm not. They're just the same character.
They are. See, now I think if Wendell Porcupine was there at the farmhouse, then Beauregard would be like, "Oh, hey, there's someone I can talk to," and he would not be volunteering to go shovel probably 3 feet of snow. You know what I mean?
They're already like, this is already packed with different characters, but it would have been a lot of fun to see Emmet Otter's jug band and his ma in the special.
Well, we're gonna hear Robin and Gobo exchange dialogue later. How great would it have been if Emmet Otter was there too, and Farley, you guys.
And Farley, right?
Why isn't he talking to them?
And they could have had the Emmet Otter characters outside with the other farm animals when Fozzie's building the snowman. That was the inn.
Yeah,
that was
It's right there. Yeah.
Then it's canon that Ma Bear lives in Frogtown Hollow.
That would have ruled.
Could be.
Man.
All right, but what really happens next is that we see Piggy outside behind the trunk of her car, yelling. Or I guess it's the cab.
It's gotta be
right?
the cab.
She hailed a cab.
Well, I was trying to see it. Does it kind of looks like it's a yellow car? So I guess she somehow managed to catch the one cab that was out in this blizzard.
Right.
It's Ernie's cab.
Right.
The other Ernie.
Yes. Frank Phelan in It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah. She says, "When I yell 3, get it. 1, 2, 3." And then the driver, who I guess maybe Jerome, maybe, Judd Hirsch or whatever, tries to accelerate and just gets mud all over Piggy's face. That's that whole scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about how quickly things happen in this special.
Well, first of all,
that's like 15
She
seconds.
says gun it, not get it.
She said, yeah, I think she says gun it.
Oh, gun it. That makes sense. Sure.
And also, like, did they ruin that puppet from all the mud throwing in her
face?
face?
They must have just completely... I can't see how you can come back from that.
I don't know how much a Muppet costs to make. I'm going to assume $5,000 to $10,000. Like, that seems reasonable for like a professional Henson built core character puppet. So was that
And I feel like we've heard that Piggy is a little bit more involved to make a piggy head.
That makes sense to me. So was that a $10,000 joke?
Maybe, or maybe it was like one that was already kind of old and starting to deteriorate, so they thought, let's just use it for this one shot.
Yeah, I just think like
done.
of all the things, like if you said to me like, hey, we have this puppet and we're gonna get rid of it soon, so let's do whatever we want to it. Like, is that the joke that I would be like, perfect? Like, let's just throw mud in her face. I mean, maybe. I'm not saying no.
Yeah.
Just saying like you could do.
She does a really funny take to the camera.
That is true. But Anthony, to your point, like this whole scene is like 5 seconds long, so it's really like you get in, you tell the joke, you get out. Get in, ruin a puppet, get out.
The Henson Company kept so many old puppets from so many different productions, and they've donated them to the Center for Puppetry Arts and the Museum of the Moving Image and all these places. I would love it if it turned out that all these years they've kept this mud-splattered piggy head in a box, and that went on display somewhere. That would be great.
What a way to go. You get splattered with mud,
piggy covered with
shoved
mud.
in a box for 30 years.
35-year-old mud.
35 years, yeah. But so then we go back to the farmhouse again, where Kermit's worried and Doc notices that he's worried and offers to go out and look for Miss Piggy.
He notices again. He just noticed a minute ago.
Kermit, so he's been worried and looking out the window this whole time. Kermit has now moved on to a different window that he's staring out of. So I can only assume that he's just been making his way around the farmhouse, staring out of all the windows.
Buddy, which does talk, like, we've talked about how, like, this is a Kermit who cares an awful lot about Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
Compared to some versions of Kermit. There are versions of Kermit where, like, he wouldn't even notice that Piggy wasn't there. He would just hang out with John Denver,
Yeah, just be like, all right, let's just keep partying.
Like, he doesn't care in that one. Piggy's not there, and he's just like, whatever. So anyways, Doc offers to go look for her. Again, always being helpful. And Kermit says, really? But you've never even met Miss Piggy. And that's the end. That's where it ends.
Yeah, that's when Doc says, never mind, I won't go.
That's what's going to happen tomorrow. Yep. I find it interesting that Doc says, you're really worried about your friend. And Kermit's just like, yeah, it's like, not, oh, yeah, she's my girlfriend, actually. Or, she's my wife. We got married in a movie a few years ago. It's just like, Yeah, she's my friend. He just leaves it at
That's
that.
a good point, because like if it was like Fozzie out there, then I think Kermit would be just as worried. He'd be like, gee, I just hope that Fozzie gets here okay, right?
Yeah, my best friend Fozzie.
Yeah. So like that actually fits Kermit's personality very well, of like keeping that weird balance between what are his feelings for Miss Piggy. Like, is it as a coworker, maybe friend, or is it as like he's genuinely in love with her?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out later in this movie, I guess.
Do they get married at the end of this one too?
They get married at the end.
What if they just kept getting
every
married at
Muppet
the
special
end of every
should end with
production?
them getting married over and over and over again.
Right. But so anyways, that's the end. That's all. Come back tomorrow. We're doing another one. We'll see you then. All right, bye.
Gun it.
Shredded wheat and Crannen Buchers. My absolute favorite.